thought I'd do a little video for you today, just a reading of two cards. Well, the intention was actually to pull one card, but then I felt drawn to pull a second one, and I'm glad I did because they're synced up really nicely, and obviously it was meant to be. So the card is basically, the question for the card is, what can I think about today and work on? So what can I think about today and work on? And by that I mean, what can I focus on right now in my life in order to make the most out of today and to move forwards into a better version of tomorrow than the one that I am currently heading towards. And I think that's an important question because at the moment, because our routines are the same again now, aren't they? It's like we've settled into this period of quarantining, and we have forged new routines, and we're now, 5 weeks in, well, depending on where you are in the world, but four to 5 weeks on average. Other places have been a bit longer. But we've got new routines, we've got new ways of looking at the world, new ways of existing within it, new ways of operating. We've accepted what we can and can't do, and we're no longer kind of fighting against that in the way that we were perhaps at the beginning. We've got rid of a lot of the anxieties we had about being cooped up, and now we're just kind of like muddling through our days and our new routine. And I think it's important to not lose sight of the fact that this is a beautiful opportunity for change and growth, and to put some focus onto those tasks and those thoughts each and every day, even if we have a full routine with looking after children or someone who's sick or elderly, or still having to work. If you can find a few moments every day, ideally between 20 to 40, but if not, even 1 minute is brilliant, is useful, is purposeful, and can be transformational. And 1 minute every day, that builds up to lots of minutes, really. So just focus on that. A power minute, or a nice, leisurely, relaxing 40 minutes or more. Okay, so with that in mind, the card that came out first was the Nine of Swords. And this card spoke to me very deeply, actually, because I can see myself in this card, and I'm sure lots of you can see yourself in that card too. I think a lot of us are like this card at the moment, or at least were at the beginning of this time of difference and change and crisis. And I'm sure we still have moments of being like this card as well. This card shows a sleepless figure sitting up in bed in the middle of the night, unable to sleep because of all the thoughts that are piercing him. It's like if you look at each of these swords and think each of these swords is a worry, is a fear, is a concern. And this poor person has been woken up in the middle of the night because his thoughts, his mind is being penetrated and pierced by so many different thoughts, scary thoughts, daunting thoughts. And these are thoughts at the moment about, am I safe? Is my family safe? What about worries about someone who might be sick that you're concerned for their well-being and safety? Concerns about your well-being and safety, within your own home. If someone might break in, are we safe at the moment from things like that? A fear of other people and catching this virus. Fear when we have to go out to the shops to get supplies, of how that might change, our status quo, and bring something back home that wasn't necessarily there before. Fear of, is this virus ever going to go away, or is this our new reality? When are we going to be allowed out from our homes? Is this virus caused by other factors, like was this virus man-made, or is this virus natural, organic? Is 5G making this virus worse? Is 5G the reason why this virus is even here in the first place? Will I lose my job? Will I ever recover from the hit to my finances that I've experienced recently? Will my relationship survive, you know, this period of quarantine and being cooped up together for so long? Will my health suffer, or you know, my partner's or my child's health suffer as a result of other things that aren't life-threatening, that aren't immediate, being neglected? You know, we've had to put life on hold while we deal with this pandemic and while we allow it to be dealt with from people outside. And you know, there are things that we might be worried about. So this card represents everything that's keeping you up, that's disturbing you, that's upsetting you, that is, you know, affecting your natural equilibrium, status quo. And so this card struck me as particularly relevant right now. So that's the problem. This card is the problem. The solution is moving towards this card. Now this card is the Nine of Wands. And I look at this card and I think, wands. I like wands. The swords stab you in the back. Wands, well, wands are like magic wands, aren't they? If we look at wands and think of, like, you know, Harry Potter or Hermione Granger, think of magicians, think of waving a wand and abracadabra, alakazam, and there's a white rabbit. So we look at the wands and we think, okay, well, I have 9 wands. And maybe that means that I can look at all of the 9 swords that are sticking into me right now, because there's a synchronicity between the 9 swords and the 9 wands. And if we look at the swords and we think each of these swords can be turned into a wand if I just look at it differently. So I can take every single problem, every single fear, every single sword that is stabbing me in the back and keeping me up at night, and I can transform it into a wand, a beautiful thing, a surprise, a gift. So it's all about thinking outside of the box. So the swords are trapping us and they're keeping us up at night, and the swords are from a place of darkness, a place that we don't want to be in, a place of worry and fear and shrinking, and being small and playing it safe. And the wands are from a place of growth. So the wands are all about our future reality, whereas the swords are all about our past. The swords are what is behind us. The wands are what will be in front of us moving forwards. So the figure in the card has got 1 wand in his hand, and I see this as he has taken the first step towards creating a new reality for himself. So this wand that he is holding in his hands right now, this powerful staff, is like a baby tree. Yeah, it has like green leaves at the top of it, and there's the wooden trunk. So it's like if he crushes this staff, this wand, into the ground, into the soil, he can plant a new seed and grow a new tree. So from this worry, he can grow a new reality, a new thought form, and he has 9 of these wands in which to make a new future. So don't look at these wands as something that is, you know, because you could look at these wands and think, okay, well, they look like prison bars, and therefore I feel like an animal trapped behind the bars, unable to go outside, because look, there's a beautiful green landscape beyond, and I'm stuck in the parched desert. But I think that in this situation, it's like, yeah, okay, maybe you are stuck in the parched desert at the moment, and maybe the beautiful green landscape is on the other side of these wands. But if you pull the wands out one by one, imagining that they are the swords that keep you awake at night, and you think about how can I change this sword into a positive, purposeful wand? How can I reframe it? How can I look at it? What is this sword, and now this wand, what is it doing for me? Why is it here? What can it teach me? How can it help me? It's not, you're not being punished, like with the swords imply that you're being punished. You're not being punished. You're being gifted a beautiful opportunity, and it's up to you. It's your choice, your decision. No one else can make you do it. No one else can make you see it. It's your choice to take each sword and transform it into a beautiful opportunity. So I urge you to do that today and moving forwards from now until the end of this this time of quarantine, and also beyond that as well. But to take each of your worries and look at it in detail and think, how can this help me grow? How can this help me be happy? How can this help me feel content, feel safe, feel grounded, feel secure, feel positive about the future? How can this help me be well? So I'll leave you on that now. I wish you a beautiful day, and thank you for listening. Bye.